good morning, afternoon, evening, day, night, whatever it is. And I'm saying hello to you from a place called the Phoenix Jetty here in Port Blair on the Andamans. And on this video, I'm actually really excited for this. On this video, I'm going to show you the experience, what it's like to island hop here. So the way you get from island to island is you ride the ferry. The ferry costs a grand total of about £6. So I'm going to share with you exactly what that experience is like. You do have options of ferries here. I think there's a private ferry which costs around £20, but I've never ridden the private ferry. Even though I'm in India, I am still an absolute cheap. So I ride the government ferries. I've been on the government ferries before. It's a mixed experience. The cleanliness can vary. But yeah, I'm going to show you exactly what it's like. So I'm currently in the waiting area. I got my ticket a few days ago. You have to buy your ticket at least one day in advance before you're going to ride the ferry. So I was warned, because it's quite high season, that it's quite busy, that you might want to do it a few days in advance. So I got my ticket, I think 3 days ago, and now I'm back here. I'm just in like this waiting area. And then about an hour before my departure time, I actually go through the security. But the problem is, once you go through security, there's nowhere to sit, there's barely any shade, and you just cook out in the open. So I'm gonna leave it to the very last minute. Whereas here in the waiting area, you get fans, it's much cooler, and there's benches and stuff. So yeah, currently here, gonna go through very soon. I'm gonna show you what it's like. The ferry takes about 2 hours to get to Neil Island. I think most of the ferries from here, they go to Neil Island, they go to a place called Havelock, which is two very tourist islands that are very close to each other. I'm going to the smaller one, Neil Island. It's a place I spent a couple of days on last year, and I realised my soul belongs there. So for me, there's a bit of a compromise when you ride the ferry, because you can sit inside where the seats are, and it's kind of air conditioned and it's cooler. But with it being a ship and it rocking around, it always makes me feel a bit sick. I don't have that much experience on boats, but I must get seasick. And then you can go onto the top of the deck where I don't feel so sick. However, you can't really escape the sun. And you've got like 2 hours just being beaten by the sun. So that's the compromise I've got to take. But I'm really looking forward to it, especially going there, because I'm so excited to go to this island. So I'll probably sit on the top. I sat on the top last time, it wasn't so bad, but we'll see. It's a very hot day today. It's about 32 degrees currently. And I booked the ferry for 1 p.m. and as soon as I got my ticket, I instantly regretted it, because I had the option to go at 6 a.m. and I should have gone at 6 because it's much cooler. The problem is now I'm going to be at the height of the day of the sun, and likelihood is I'm going to be sat in the sun quite a bit. So I've got that to look forward to. We're riding the ship in India for £6. So I'm just heading over now to the security room, which I remember last year, like you put your bags and stuff through the check, but the machine doesn't even work, or it didn't work. But you still have to do it, so I wonder if it's been fixed. Doesn't seem too busy. It's a little bit windy here. Do hope you can hear me. We've just made it through the security. About to get on one of these boats. So these are the government ferries. And last time I was on one of these boats, it was absolutely infested with cockroaches. So we'll see. Thumbs down. But it's a £6 government ferry. So with these government ferries, they only sell a certain amount of tickets to tourists, and then they hold the majority of tickets for the local people. That's another reason why you have to book these ships in advance. Yeah, £6. We're island hopping, we're riding the Indian ship. It's cost us £6. It's not the cleanest, but we'll get there. That is the main thing. really going to try and do this and shout very loud. So it's about, we've been on the boat about 1 hour and 40 minutes, and then just in the background we can now see land. That's Neil Island, and in the background that way in the distance is another island called Havelock. Both islands act as very, very tourist places, but it makes me very, very happy to see that place. I last saw it 1 year ago and it feels so good to be back. So the way we come in from the south and go round, and we go past a beach called Lakshmanpur, which is the very north tip of the island. It comes out to a beach. It's really peaceful, really clean. So we're coming from around that side, going around the north, and the jetty is on the opposite side. So we should be docking in about 10 minutes time. So in total the journey ends up being about 2 hours. We made it, I've just stepped off the boat. So that's the government ferry behind me that we rode on. And I think to give you an idea of one of the private ferries, that's what they look like. There's a big difference. I've never actually been on one, so I can't tell you what it's like inside. But certainly from the outside, they look much cleaner. So I just nearly got hit by 2 cars. But yeah, that's how we get from island to island. And here we are on the wonderful Neil Island. Just look at the amazing blue water behind me. Welcome to absolute paradise here in the Andaman Islands in India. So honestly, I don't know necessarily why you would go for the private ferry. The government one is air conditioned inside. It's cool if you want to go sit down, or if you want to go on the deck, it's fine. The only problem I have with the government ferry is the cockroaches. And to be honest, they didn't even bother me that much. What would you do, people? Would you ride the government ferry that's a little bit tatty for £6? Or would you ride a private one for what I believe is around £30? Let me know. And until next time, see you later from paradise.